I'm taking the truck out. Gotta go back to the camera.
You're going to be spinning it around or not?
Ahí está, eight tables, ahí está.
What you doing? You back with good health.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
My daughter's not here that long, so I'm still getting to know the place. The Baruch Hashem were Tachat Bracha. Having a lot of stuff over here also.
Thank you for coming. You said.
Speak.
Take me 2 minutes.
All right?
Full review.
85. That's a little early still.
Oh, okay then.
So?
To keep on moving. To please find the seats so that the program can begin. Bruchim Aboim, welcome to Tiferes Bais Yaakov's 17th annual dinner. We have broken new grounds in the area of Tznius by having the first men's only dinner in Lakewood. In fact, however, this dinner is a celebration and inauguration of Tiferes Bais Yaakov's new beautiful hall, donated by Dr. and Mrs. Roberts. It is therefore appropriate that the dinner be held here where Kanai Nahara only half the parent body fits. Of course, we cannot invite only half the parents, and therefore we have a dinner l'gvarim bilvad. But why men? Perhaps the women? When it comes to the chinuch of our daughters, it is generally the mothers who are involved. They talk to the teachers, the principals, they attend the functions, and of course PTA. Gathering here tonight to demonstrate our appreciation will give us a new appreciation of the chinuch our daughters receive in this wonderful mosque. To be honest, I was a bit puzzled. True, the Simcha Hall is beautiful, and it also helps generate much needed finances for the school, which off to the side, if I may mention, needs your help, our help. Though Dr. Roberts has donated the hall and graciously dedicated the building, there's still astronomical monthly expenses, I should say. A mortgage of, I think, $28,000 a month, almost $350,000 annually. So the Simcha Hall definitely helps towards that end. But a dinner generally focused on Hakaras HaTov to all involved in the chinuch of our children. The inauguration of a hall doesn't seem appropriate. But in fact, the school, which operates in the daytime, and the hall, which operates at night, serves one purpose. They both generate simcha shel mitzvah. The hall at night generates a simcha of a child becoming mechuyev mitzvahs most of the time. The halls of this building generate the simcha of being a Bas Yisrael. I have a daughter who went through the entire Tiferes Bais Yaakov system and is now Kanai her in 11th grade. I have another daughter currently in 3rd grade. Of course, they learn a tremendous amount, but it is the simcha of simply being a Bas Yisrael that sets the girls of Tiferes Bais Yaakov apart. While Tiferes Bais Yaakov is with the times when it comes to education, they're Baruch Hashem still old-fashioned in inculcating our daughters with true tznius values and the true simcha of being Bnei Yisrael. A bit later, we will express our gratitude to the Noshim Tzidkanius who run our school, but for now, we will focus on the men. Of course, we express gratitude to all the husbands of our dedicated staff. They too give up a lot in order to ensure the chinuch of all the girls. Thank you to our dinner chairman, Reb Moshe Levi Weinberg, and Reb Elio Zaks. Thank you to my journal co-chairman, Reb Chesky Seitler. Rabbi Sofer, our administrator, maintains the building and now puts in a tremendous amount of time and effort in ensuring the smooth running of our hall. Thank you, Rabbi Sofer. Our executive director, I don't know if anyone knows that's what he's called, but he's in a sense the motor of our school. Without him, many things would not happen, including this dinner. He gives leiv and nefesh to the school, and he deserves recognition. Thank you, Rabbi Mordechai Weiss. Koliv daven at the Kivrei Avos that he shouldn't fall in that Tzas Meraglim. I saw a vart. It was more than just a tefillah that was neskabel. It was his way of connecting to the Messiah. His shlichus to be meragel in Eretz Yisrael wasn't just something he was doing in that time. He was connecting to the Messiah of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, realizing that this was the kiyum of Bris Ben Absarim. It was a mission he could not fail. He wished to connect to that Messiah. And to that end, he davened at the Kivrei Avos. Our dean, Rabbi Rosansky, feels a tremendous achrayus towards Tiferes Bais Yaakov. His goal is to be mechanech girls of the next generation by connecting them to the Messiah of the generations gone by, beginning with our Avos. We all owe Rabbi Rosansky great debt of gratitude. It's my pleasure and kavod to ask Rabbi Rosansky to say a few words.
Welcome to Tiferes Bais Yaakov's 17th anniversary dinner. Baruch Hashem shechayonu v'kimonu v'giyonu azman hazeh. I thank the Rebbe Shalom for Siyata Shmaya in making Tiferes Bais Yaakov the outstanding Bais Yaakov that it is now. We started out 17 years ago with only 12 Talmidos, and we currently have, Li'ayin Hara, over 650 Talmidos. Thanks to all the parents who have chosen Tiferes Bais Yaakov as a school of choice for their wonderful daughters, we are now able to make this 17th anniversary dinner. Many of our parents chose our school upon advice of the grandparents, and to them I am also very grateful. This 17th anniversary dinner is very special. We find in the Torah that Yosef was sold by his brothers when he was 17 years old. And the Pasuk states in Vayeshev, Yosef ben Shva Esrei Shono V'hu Nar. Until 17, you're a Nar. For the last 17 years, we were all Narona. We have now grown up and are succeeding in our mission of being Mechanech, the future mothers of Klal Yisrael. This 17th anniversary dinner is also very different from our previous dinners. It is also only for men, and it is a shtickle Hanukkah's Habayis of this wonderful Simcha Hall. The year 17 is B'Gematria Toiv, Tes, Vov, Veis. And our new Simcha Hall is really Toiv Mioid. The great Siyata D'Shmaya that we have since the establishment of Tiferes Bais Yaakov is an emesis Siyata D'Shmaya for an avodas hakodesh of chinuch habonos. Not every siyata d'shmaya is for a good cause. Sometimes the Rebbeinu Shel Olam gives siyata d'shmaya as an nisoyen. We see this in Parshas Shlach, with the Meraglim's travels throughout Eretz Yisrael. And Rashi explains, he brings it down from a Medrash, that the distance of Eretz Yisrael is 400 parsa by 400 parsa. A person goes 10 parsos a day. They went around the whole Eretz Yisrael. So it should have taken them who knows how many days. But the Eibishter knew that they are going to say bad things about Eretz Yisrael, and he would be Goizer a day for a year. They should be in Golus, in the Midbar. So he would have to be Goizer hundreds of years if they would have walked around and taken them throughout Eretz Yisrael. So it says they had Kfitzas HaDerech, and they realized it. It was 40 days for the whole thing, and they had Kfitzas HaDerech, and they saw the Siyata D'Shmaya, and that was done. But what did they do? They saw that they had Siyata D'Shmaya to say bad about Eretz Yisrael. The Eibishter was helping them say bad about Eretz Yisrael. Otherwise, why did they have this nest? What they didn't realize is that Rebbeinu Shel Olam gives you Siyata D'Shmaya sometimes as an nisoyen, and if you don't pass the nisoyen, you get punished. We also see this by Noach and Yoina, and now it's not a time to talk about it. They had Siyata D'Shmaya, and it was going as an nisoyen. We feel that the Siyata D'Shmaya that we have in Tiferes Bais Yaakov is not a nisoyen, but a real Siyata D'Shmaya. I want to thank my very dear and good friend who was going to be here in person tonight, but couldn't make it due to his very busy schedule today. His heart and soul are with us at the special dinner. Dr. Rich Roberts is the special person behind the Simcha Hall. It was the idea of Dr. Roberts, who is very original with ideas of being Mekadosh Shem Shemayim by his anhogas of helping Klal Yisrael. He wanted to sponsor a Simcha Hall affordable for people making small simchas in a beautiful hall that will always be remembered, and at the same time be a source of achnosa, a source of income to his favorite Bais Yaakov. Actually, you'd be surprised, he's following in the ways of Rabbi Yisrael Salanta. Rabbi Yisrael Salanta said, "Men darf ton, nicht noch ton." You have to do, but not imitate someone else. Many times the Talmud thinks that if he wants to be a Godel Hadoyer, or a Godel B'Torah, he has to be exactly like his Rebbe, not only to copy the Rebbe's good midas and hanhogas, but also the way the Rebbe talks and the way his Rebbe motions. If a Rebbe talks, shakes like this, he would shake like this. If a Rebbe talks, his hands up like this, he would talk like that. So Rabbi Yisrael Salanta says that this is the wrong way. He's supposed to get from his Rebbe the limudim and good anhogas, but he's not supposed to imitate the form of acting like his Rebbe. Rather, he should use the milas of his Rebbe adjusted to his own hanhogas. It is well known that Rabbi Yisrael Salanta had 3 Talmidim Gedolim, 3 famous Talmidim, Rav Simcha Zistel Mikelim, Rav Yisrael Peterburger, and Rav Naftali Amsterdam. All 3 learned the same time in the base medrash of Rabbi Yisrael Salanta, but each one had a different way of Abotzas HaTorah al pi derech hamusa. They did, but they did not imitate. In the Chedushim of Masechet Sukkos, the Chassam Sofer brings down in the name of his Rebbe, the Baal HaFlor, the same point. It says in the Gemara, I think it's Sukkah Lamed Vov, that an esrik ha-kushi is kosher. A black esrik is kosher. A black esrik is kosher, but an esrik that looks black is possible. Rashi explains that if it's really not black, it is a counterfeit copy. As a matter of fact, Rashi uses the word counterfeit balaz. If it looks like black, it's possible. So you see that the real thing is different than a copy. And the same thing with a person. If you imitate someone, it is not the same as being original. And Rabbi Yisrael Salanta proves this from the story of Lot. Lot was saved when had the Stein Vamoira, he was saved. And it says that why was Lot saved? Because the Schach, he did not tell the Mitzrayim that Sarah was the wife of Avram. So Rabbi Yisrael Salanta asks, we know that Lot was Mekayim the mitzvah V'achnosas Orchem Esdoim, like he learned from Avram Avinu. He was Mekayim, you see, he took in the Malachim there, and he was Mekayim V'achnosas Orchem. So why didn't Hashem save him in the schos of the mitzvah V'achnosas Orchem? So Rabbi Yisrael Salanta answers that his mitzvah V'achnosas Orchem was copying from Avram Avinu's V'achnosas Orchem. And you see that a copy or imitation is no good. You have to do, but not copy someone else. In this way, Dr. Richie Roberts is very original in the idea of being Mekal Shem Shemayim by his Hanhogis of helping Klal Yisrael. In the same way, Tiferes Bais Yaakov is also very original in running our Bais Yaakov. In addition to superior Limudei Kodesh and Limudei Choil, we stress Midas Toivus and Hanhogas Toivus. I was once walking Rav Shneya up to his office in the yeshiva, and there was a water fountain outside in the lobby in front of his office. Kids were drinking water, so he went over to them and he tells them, "It's Rosh Yeshiva geht durch, darf man sagen Guten Morgen." Yeah, if he saw something, if you did not have an Hanhoga Toiva, it's felt. We stress good manners as part of our education. We also insist that they call their grandparents every Erev Shabbos to show respect. Before Shabbos, they call the grandparents. We choose mothers and teachers who will be role models for the Talmidos. We want them to lead a life of Kiddush Shem Shemayim so that Hashem will be very proud of them. Our graduates are on every high school's top priority list due to their scholarship and behavior. But most important, we all have to thank the Choshvim and Nahalos, moros, and teachers who put so much dedication and koiches into the superb education of their Talmidos. The Hebrew principal, Mrs. Rosansky, whom I know very well, she's my wife, I can testify that she's oisik all day and almost all night in the chinuch of all the Talmidos. She always davens for the hatzlocha of all the Talmidos by their name. The English principal, Mr. Shachar, Rav Shachar Rebbetzin here, is not only involved in the secular subjects, she comes in early in the morning during the Hebrew sessions to make sure that not even one student falls through the cracks. It is unbelievable how much koicha she puts into every student's chinuch and adrocha. Rav Steinman Shlita once told me that a school is glücklich if they have only one good teacher. Glücklich means lucky. I don't know how to describe the glücklichkeit of Tiferes Bais Yaakov, which has so many good teachers. Our morals and teachers make up to 5 different level tests for different level students in a grade so that they will get decent marks according to their ability. The whole class does not get the same test. Some people ask, why is there a need for a girls' school, a Bais Yaakov? And it's a good question. They had this question already in the early 1900s. There's a small town in Poland that did not have a cheder for boys, nor a Bais Yaakov for girls. They were so poor that they could only afford to make one, either a cheder or a Bais Yaakov, but not both of them. So they went to ask the Chavetz Chaim what they should do. The Chavetz Chaim thought for a minute, and he answered them. There's a mefurish postik in Parshas Yisroi. Moshe Oler Elokim, by Kabbalas HaTorah, Vayikra Elov Hashem in the hall, Leimor Koisai Mal the Bais Yaakov, V'Sagel of Bnei Yisrael. So you see that a Bais Yaakov comes before a cheder for boys. The education for women comes before the education for men, which is very surprising. So Rav Chaim Kanievsky explains it like this. When it comes to boys, if you don't have a cheder, they will learn here and there. or they will make small groups to learn. They will always find a place to learn. But if you don't have a Bais Yaakov for girls, they won't learn anything at all. That is why it's more important to make a Bais Yaakov. The Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Aaron Zatzal, always used to say his biggest hakaras hatoiv is to Rav Baruch Kaplan from Brooklyn, who established a girls' school, because no shomer Torah mitzvahs or a ben Torah would be able to get married. No girl would want to marry them, then this will be the end of Klal Yisrael. So we see that supporting a Bais Yaakov is supporting the continuation of Klal Yisrael. Baruch Hashem, the Tiferes Bais Yaakov school building is the ideal atmosphere for your children's chinuch. Our building is not a luxury, but a necessity for high-caliber, superb education. These girls are the future of Klal Yisrael. We treat your children as if they were our own children. We are all shutfim in the Torah chinuch. Chazal tell us, Kol hamalamed es ben chaveroi Torah ki'ilu yoldoi. When you come out to Tiferes Bais Yaakov, you will notice the whole school is like one family. The principals, teachers, students, staff. There's a ruach of simchas hachayim. This is the best way to hand down the Messiah to the future mothers of Klal Yisrael. I want to thank now all the choshev parents, grandparents, and guests who, out of their hakaras, hatoiv, to Tiferes Bais Yaakov, help us raise much-needed funds for our Bais Yaakov. Achron Chaviv, the success of this dinner in our new building and Simcha Hall would not have been possible without the extreme dedication and devotion and all the very hard work by my son-in-law and daughter, Rabbi and Mrs. Mordechai Weiss. Thank you so much. Again, I want to thank everyone for coming here tonight, and may the Ribbon Shalom crown our efforts with nachas and success.
Fortunate to have a close relationship with Rosh Yeshiva Yerucham Olshen Shlita. It's a covet for me to ask the Rosh Yeshiva Shlita to give the bracha.
Roshus, Taya, Choshev Yedid, Rav Yitzchok, dem Yasid, und sein Choshev Rebbetzin, dem Yasid und Yazdo, she's Manal, die alle Jahren von dem Choshev Moise, Tiferes Bais Yaakov, alle Choshev Rabbonim, the Manalois, the teachers, alle was sind in Mishtativ da, und die gewaltige Hatzloche von der Moise, kommen sich zusammen, die Kvod HaTorah. Wir wissen, als ein Nomen, Hashem teitscht ab. Jeder Ihnen ist toll in den Nomen. Shmo Gorem, der Hashem teitscht ab, was die Sache ist. Dort wird zugelegt. Wir wissen, der heilige Nomen Bais Yaakov. Der Moise hat zugelegt, der Nomen, Ahisof Tiferes Bais Yaakov. Was ist das Wort Tiferes Bais Yaakov? Das ist damit das Gebäude auf der Mischne in Ovis. Die Mischne steht, Rebbe Yoim, Eise Derech Yishore, Shiyovele Odom. Was ist der Weg, der richtige Weg, der Derech Yishore, als der Mensch soll sich auskleiben, Kol Shi Tiferes Lo Yisrael. So da a Meile in a Weg, in a Derech HaChayim, der Derech, was Yid darf auskleiben, ist Tiferes Lo Yisrael, und Tiferes Lo Mino Odom. Was meint Tiferes Lo Yisrael? Steht in Rabbi Yoine b'Shem der Rambam, als die Linie von Tiferes meint man Midas Teuves, auch Moshe Memai mit Zechon Levroche, Pirish es Amisht al Amidois, V'asoison derech Hamtzois derech Hamufche, V'Tiferes Lo Yisayim, שמכין לו יפתור לאדם, מחדש בקיר ברוח נכוינו, תפרס לוי לאדם, שמלמדות אלינו גם הבריאס מיניג נור. Das heißt, als der Derech von Midas Teuves, Einpflanzen Midas Teuves, das ist Tiferes. Das ist Tiferes lo Yisrael, Tiferes lo min Adam. Und Rabbi Yitzchok soll gesund sein, der Mann früher, als alles, was der Bais Yaakov geht auf den Derech von der ersten Bais Yaakov, in der Lemudim, was man lernt, ist, die teure jüdische Kinder, aber so da, gewaltige Dogesh auf Midas Teuves, und alle wissen das, Das ist Tiferes Bais Yaakov, a Moisid, was geht da rein teuer in Yerushalayim und Midas Tevis, was das ist die Yesod von der Beis Yisrael. Steht doch, es da 3 Ksorim, es Kesser Malchus, Kesser Teure, Kesser Kune, und Kesser Shem Tov Oil al Gabeim. Was ist der Kesser Shem Tov Oil al Gabeim? Der höchste Kesser ist der Kesser Shem Tov, steht in der Forschung, das ist Meisim Tov Midas Tevis. Meisim Tov Midas Tevis, steht im Maral, nicht Stamm Midas Tevis, nur Midas Muflogis. Ein Mensch tut Meisim Tov Muflogim, äußere gewöhnliche Meisim Tovim, hat äußere gewöhnliche Midas, das ist Macht mit Hashem Tov. Der Moise Tiferes Bais Yaakov ist gebaut auf Midas Tovis und darüber hat es Säure gewesen. Und alle Moise ist Kesser Shem Tov Oil al Gabeim. Ein Moise mit der gewaltige Shem Tov, was man reißt sich da reinzugehen. Ich weiß, dass Schochen kommt mich die Stadlis, wo Hashem der Oilem will sehr stark kommen zu der Bais Yaakov, weil es hat im Kesser Shem Tov Oil al Gabeim. Und es führt sich am Säure Sovis, das doch Schala Wicho wie geht, sie kein Necho wie Yomrulach. Bei Klal Yisrael ist dicke Messäure, ein da geht über zu dem anderen da. Der Bais Yaakov hat eine spezielle Meile, eine gewaltige Meile, was es führt sich mit einem Messäure Sovis, was es ist eine seltene Sache. Sein Rebbe Yitzchak soll so stark sein, sein Choshev Rebetzin, seinen Verheiser, was übergeblieben mit Scheres Apleite von die Yeshivas HaKdoishes. Der Rebetzin, der Menaheles, ist eine Tochter von Rav Milanovich, Zatzal, was gewähnt von Talmidim, Hamufokim, der übergebliebene Talmidim von Rosh Yeshiva Zeratzadik, von der Kletzke Talmidim. Ich bin sehr koscher mit Rosh Yeshiva Maschgier von Kletzk. Und mit Meile, das ist eine Messäure, sie trockt mit sich die Messäure von ihrer Tate, von ihrer Choshev Tate, eine Messäure Sovis von der Friedeke da. Und als Rebbe Yitzchak soll uns stark sein, hat am Säure, sein Tate, Moshe Neuach, der Zarik Levroch ist gewinnt ein Talmud, Move für Chofetz Chaim, für Maftoli, Aradner Talmud, mit Gattes Chus, Soif Yomov, was gewesen, die Yeshiva, gemacht nicht verfällt, als Schudis in die Yeshiva, bei Rab Schneier. Hat Tibe gegeben am Säure zu seinen Kindern, und das alles geht da rein, in der Choshev, Moise, der Teure, es ist ein Moise, was trockt mit sich, eine gewaltige Messäure ist Ova, dem Hesiastus und der Anholle von Yeshiva trockst mit die gewaltige Messäure von Klal Yisrael. Shalavicha wie geht, sie kein Necho wie Yomrulach, am Oisid, was trockt mit sich am Messäures. Und dem ich soll geben, als wie die Moise hat Matzlier gewesen bis jetzt, wir kommen sich zusammen auf Mechazek sein, Moedet sein, alle zusammen Moedet sein, Mechazek sein, und soll sein dem Zoyim, das Geld, was wir da haben, führen weiter, der heilige Moise, der ich soll geben, gesund zu der Menal, zu der Biyaser Rebbe Yitzchak soll sein gesund und stark, und der Choshev Rebetzin, und das mag Teuf zu sein, der alle Choshev Menalois, und der Morois, die was geben über die Messäure, und sein Tag Gseider, und solche sein, durch die Chivis HaTeuren, durch die Chizuk HaTeuren, was wir geben, das ist die Sache, die größte Sache, was da in der Welt, Chizuk HaTeuren, das bei Israel Hashem mit Brei und Beshir, sieht keiner beim Herr of Yemen.
One member of the extended Tiferes Bais Yaakov family is Mishpachas Slatus. They have Knai Nahara 6 girls, 3 already in Tiferes Bais Yaakov, 1 coming next year, and 2 who we look forward to having join in the near future. As Magachir and Chemdes HaTorah, Rabbi Yaakov Shlita is a mechanech in his own right. Connecting with the Messiah, as we said before, we are privileged to have with us tonight his father, Harav Vigdor Slatus Shlita, Marda Asra of Kal Bnei Bris Yaakov of Savannah, Georgia. When we hear of Savannah, Georgia, we imagine a rabbi, a kiruv rabbi, and in a sense it's true. The community started out with about 70 people in shul on Shabbos, maybe less, and that's men and women together, sitting separately, but altogether 70 people. Day school had less than 30 children. Now the day school, I think, has around 150 children and over 200 people attend the davening on Shabbos, and is a minyan every day. Over the last 30 years, together with his Rebbetzin, they have created a warm, vibrant, frum community. Brought primarily, Rabbi Slatus is a tremendous Talmud Chacham. He learned in the Mir Yeshiva as a Talmud of Reb Shmuel Birnbaum Zatzal, realizing the chashivas of Torah and the effect Torah has on all those who are around it. A community kollel was started a number of years ago, which through Talmud Torah has affected the community tremendously. In 2001, the community of Savannah, Georgia, celebrated the 20th anniversary of the distinguished leadership of the Rav, their beloved Rav and Rebbetzin. At that gathering, Representative Jack Kingston, the representative of their district in Savannah, Georgia, summed it up. He said, "I felt compelled to make it known throughout the nation what the people of Savannah already know. Rabbi and Rebbetzin Slatus are great Americans and even greater servants of God." It is my kavod to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Rav Avigdor Slatus Shlit and Morad Asher of Kahal Bnei Bais Yaakov of Savannah, Georgia.